Good morning and happy Eid to all our Muslim viewers. It's our prayer that the blessings of this season shall be yours and that of your household. It's the last day of the extra holiday, so let's make it count. Ladies, out of curiosity, what's your favorite holiday and why?
That's true. I want to draw the hiss. My Mommy, why are you hissing at me? I don't have holidays, that's why I'm hissing.
Exactly.
What would be your favorite, in an ideal, what would be your favorite holiday?
In my ideal setting, where everything is the way I want it to be.
And it's about you.
And it's about me.
What would it be?
Maybe Easter.
Really?
No.
Easter?
Because if I say
it's really not all about anybody.
So if I say Christmas, it will be too cold, and I'm not into that.
I love cold. So for me, it would be Christmas. With winter, with snow, you guys.
With mulled wine.
You know, something in the fireplace, something in the car.
And then you can cuddle with like blankets.
Some footsie under the blankets. Yes. And then you're toasting marshmallows and you're making s'mores.
See this head. Then we're roasting corn with bake. Look at them. Who knows s'mores?
I will introduce you. When we do a potluck, I will introduce you.
They'll not be toasting a gummy sweetie thing. How does that thing actually taste? I haven't eaten marshmallow. It's like eating cotton candy.
So that's why you need the marshmallow with the chocolate and the graham crackers.
I didn't know that it was a combo. You know when we now pair the ube with the coconut, we now put it in between the corn pepper and bite it. It's delicious.
How did we end up on this? Today you're sitting with your like.
Exactly.
Oh really? Bougie, raz. Is that what you're saying?
Did I say it?
But at least raz is half raz. Because she's even half raz because
Cameroons are not ras. That's not Nigerian side.
We have our own level of rasness, although, you know.
It'll be in French. Please show me French rasness.
No. Our French rasness is the street rasness. Hey, tu fais quoi là-bas? Tu fais quoi? Je te demande, tu fais quoi là-bas?
C'est comme ça comme parle.
Guys, this morning though, we would like to shine a spotlight on some incredible women, because who says only Wednesdays are for crushing on women? First off, our very own Super Falcons have qualified for the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris for the first time in 16 years. For those of you who didn't think we could do it, we done it.
Yeah.
Nigeria beat South Africa 1-0 on aggregate to reach the Summer Olympics. When you're hungry,
super proud of the Super Falcons. This is just incredible for them. I think over and over we've seen the women teams, particularly at the senior level, deliver. Please let's support them. Let's give them a lot more.
I'm hoping that female football and everything that's female basketball, they are really pulling their weight. They're doing well. So please support our girls. What is it? We're doing great. Are you jealous?
I don't know. I know some people say, you know, like, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
All right, we'll be going from that to another celebration of another great woman. Our very own Nollywood actress and filmmaker, Stephanie Linus, has made history as the first Black recipient of the Lennox K Black Prize for Excellence in Medicine. She is being awarded for astounding contributions to social activism and impact through her films and campaigns. Lennox K. Yeah.
She's not only... She's the first African, first woman, first Black person.
Yes.
Also meaning in the US, they haven't given it to somebody that is of our skin color. And one thing I like about her, aside from the fact people say we used to look alike, I don't know if you see it. You know, when I first came back to Nigeria, I was much skinnier. I said we resemble. I could end up
I see it because
you do have some similarities.
Oh, look at the cheekbone.
Yes, I was going to
say
that.
The smile.
God, I wish we could do side by side. But this is what I like. But anyway, one thing I respect about her is she went from Nollywood, the roles that she was playing in Nollywood, that many of them, she parlayed it into a career, into film, went behind the scenes, has a film academy, is doing all this, and now she's winning an award. This is the kind of trajectory I like to see, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so you want me to walk that okay.
I want that trajectory for you, Lolo.
It's okay. I'm just gonna go into it. Activism now.
But don't forget also that she was also named the chairperson of the Nigerian official selection committee for the best international feature film category at the Oscars last year in August.
Well, Steffi, and I know her brother-in-law is my personal friend. Peter is a musician, and I think her husband too is somehow contributory to this trajectory because they seem to flow in those kinds of circles.
And just as an aside, it's really important to marry or be with the right person.
Oh my God! When you're looking up with like, it's Rotimi Balogun, he's such a great guy. You never asked me to come and eat. But it's so weird that Tolu is married to a food family and she's a cook herself.
And we have a restaurant.
That's what I'm saying. What's all that rubbish?
Have you not ever thought about
that?
Do you not want to go into?
No, in the kitchen.
Verena's kitchen.
Private catering.
Oh, come on. Private catering.
Oh, come on.
Granite soup and eba on the menu?
No, sorry. It's not.
Only s'mores and
chicken pie. My brownies are to die for. You can testify.
Can you hear? Can you hear?
Please, let's move on.
So if you're looking for private catering,
what's in the air?
Private catering.
It's been going around all morning.
Private catering is in the air.
Something in the air.
Private catering.
So there's still one more.
Ogbomosho came out.
Ogbomosho came out to play, man.
That kind of day.
We take this again. There's still one more woman we are crushing on today, and that's Nigerian economist Chinwe Igwem, who has been announced as one of the 12 Africans selected to join the Forum of Young Global Leaders under the World Economic Forum, WEF Class of 2024, a group of nearly 90 change makers from around the world who are shaping the future and accelerating positive change through their groundbreaking work. If you read Chinwe's CV, it is very
sort of asking her, my sister,
how did you do
Oh, God.
I am just share me on this table. I'm the least school.
I've met her before, been to events where she has spoken absolutely spot on. And like there's nothing like a woman knowing her onions, a woman who is solid in it, confident, she's delivering as she needs to deliver. And then in this event we went for, it was a private gathering of women and just talking about, the challenges women face.
But you leave there inspired.
Honestly,
imagine you and me there. We just be looking at each other.
I just looked at her when I read her CV, I was like, wow.
My daughter they're inviting me to their TEDx in their school.
They're doing TEDx talks already. In her school.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I had to go sell a mother.
So you're going to TEDx?
Come on.
In my daughter's school.
It doesn't matter.
You know what, guys? I have actually noticed that if women are given the chance, a fair, equal chance, we actually can stand at par with men and in some cases outperform them as well. I mean, there's this innate spirit of leadership and maturity that women come with and they bring to the table when they're working. I would like to say, and all of us at the Jasiri table, like to say, well done to all these incredible women. Keep making us proud.
Thank you.
Before the men come for me and say, what about us? Let us take a quick break. When we return, we'll be traveling from London to Lagos by road. If you know, you know.
Another woman that is so close to me. I'm so stupid.
Guys, welcome back to the show. You are watching Jasiri, and we are streaming live on our social media platforms. We're at News Central TV. Please use the hashtag Jasiri to be part of our conversation. Now, we're still uplifting and upholding women this morning. With us today is a phenomenal woman who has achieved a great feat, a Nigerian travel and lifestyle content creator with a remarkable global footprint, having explored over 80 countries. A little over 2 months ago, she embarked on a life-altering experience, a solo road trip from London to Lagos. Well, she finally rolled to a stop after 68 days at the prestigious UNILAG, in other words, University of Lagos. And now she's in the studio live with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking about none other than Pelumi Nubi. Welcome to Jasiri. Black beauty Thank you so much. Fine. That one I knew.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
I have good sprinkles actually. But honestly, I think the first question I would want to know, because what inspired you to just embark on this London to Lagos thing? 68 days on the road, alone, and through many countries. Honestly, it can't be beans. I don't do well on my own. How do you do it? You have multiple personalities that you guys talk while nobody's looking.
To answer your first question, why? I was trying to connect two places where I consider home. So I was born in Lagos, Nigeria. I grew up in London, and each time I visited, it was just these 6 hours flights, and you leave. Usually it's December time. You leave the cold, and then you're in the heat. And I was just very curious about what about the other countries that connected these two places, which is West Africa. I've been able to visit East Africa and South Africa, but I've not really explored West Africa so much. So I was like, okay. Last year, then 2 years ago, I did a solo drive across Namibia, 4,000 kilometers, literally me by myself, camping under the stars, and I just fell in love with, road trips and driving. And I was like, okay, I've been wanting to connect these two places, how best to explore. I know Mr. Kinley did it by bike, and I was very, very curious about, has any woman done this before? And no, there was no one. No black solo female woman has done such a trip. And I was like, okay, we need to not have those, we can't have in the first and the only anymore. Like, it's 2024. So I just wanted to do something daring, step out of my comfort zone, seek adventure, and obviously inspire the next generation to just do the same. So I decided to go on this epic road trip, and it has been absolutely brilliant.
You talked about camping out under the stars in Namibia, and I heard Namibia is beautiful.
It is stunning.
Like I heard, it's
10 out of 10.
And what I realize is, and I've said it here, and I think it's something we've realized with New Central as well, is that as Africans, we know so much more about countries outside the continent.
Yes.
We know so much about the politics in the UK and in the US and all those things. But for us to know about our continental partners and neighbors, even our regional partners, it's an issue. So in this particular trip, what were some of the things you learned about the countries in the West African region, even whatever you passed through once you came into the African continent, that you think might surprise people? Some of those things that are the connectivity that makes us Africans.
Absolutely, and I'm very big advocate in terms of exploring and immersing myself in places I go to, and that's why this trip wasn't just a 2 weeks, 3 weeks trip, which it would have been if I just drove. It became 2 months plus because I was very intentional about showcasing the places I've been to, the culture, the food, the music, the people, their storytelling. In terms of West Africa as a whole, I felt there was a lot more similarity than differences in terms of the food, the music. You kind of have quite similarities in there. Yes, there's different culturally, whereby you have certain expectation of role of a woman or that kind of thing, but it was mostly more similarities. But there were definitely incredible tourism, hotspots that people were just like, is this in Africa? You have in Mauritania, for example, where you have one of the longest iron ore train that is just so remarkable to you're driving through, you're literally riding through the Sahara in the middle of the night, watching the stars, and just absolutely incredible.
You're not being here.
It's the fearlessness. I could do this.
Absolutely do it. Absolutely. Why not? I remember, people, the check man stopping by the side of the road, and he literally searched my car almost 3 times. Like, where is the other person? I'm like, what other person? Like, it's only me in this car. So having that confidence to actually go there, there's literally a video, a woman alone, and literally that is my a woman alone is enough. We can do it. That. We really can do it.
I'm going to swim.
Yes.
I would like to the Jollof Wars.
That's the Mauritania trail, by the way, I was speaking about. Love the trail that I climbed. It's just stunning. Just waking up to these kind of, you're literally in the middle of the Sahara Desert and by myself.
But we have to ask. There are definitely challenges that you must have faced, being by yourself, traveling alone, all those obstacles. One, how did you stay motivated? And then how did you navigate your way through?
That's a good question. So in terms of the planning stage was very crucial. This was not a spontaneous. I'm very spontaneous in my trip. People say, oh girl, you go over from somewhere on weekend, I'm good to go. I'm that kind of spontaneous. But with this trip, it took a year plus of planning. So it was very detailed. It was opening Google Maps, checking satellite videos to see what the road condition is, if there will be roadblocks, if there will be, real level of detail, interviewing people that have done similar trip to hear their tips and tricks and hacks. It was really almost investigatory style kind of research that went into it. So it wasn't really like, okay, I'm just going to do it. No. And I do not advise for such a grand trip. I was going through 16 different countries. There was going to be, I was doing it by myself, exactly. Sure with people that this kind of expedition, they have a team with them. They have the chef, the medic, the logistic person, the driver. But I had to wear this multiple hat. And there, the planning stage was very, very important. But definitely the community that I grew as well online. Literally, I told I got almost 1,000 plus adoptive aunties and mummies that were very concerned about my safety, and they were very, even themselves researching, sending me real life like update. Oh, be careful in Senegal because there's the election happening and blah blah blah. Like really just caring about my well-being, and that's why I couldn't give up, because it was more than me. It had grown bigger than me, way bigger than me.
And you didn't expect that.
I did not expect that. I was just doing this. Like I've done so many other adventures in the past. As of 2022, I did 10 African countries. I've done backpacking in South America. I've gone to Australia. So I've always done travel. But this, I think it was just, I don't know what it was that connected with people. It was the grandness of it, or it was just time and place. This was me in Morocco.
So on this journey, you were almost approaching Nigeria, and that terrible accident happened. And it was one of the things that I woke up that day and I just saw you were trending again, and I saw the videos of what's going on, because we have been trying to reach you. And take us through that moment, especially as somebody who's on the road by themselves. You're a woman in a foreign country. It can be in West Africa. People can look for it like you. It's still a foreign country. Take us through what happened that night that the accident happened. What was the situation? And I know some people would have told you, you're almost home. Just take a plane and go. Just take a flight and go to Nigeria.
Nobody will say you
didn't try.
You're very right. In terms of what happened, we had the whole border situation. So I got to Ivory Coast border, Cote d'Ivoire border by 10 a.m. because I'm very big on early morning border crossing, get out of the way, get it sorted out, and back and forth. They wanted a bribe, they wanted some kind of compensation that wasn't official. And I'm like, if we keep doing this, we'll keep encouraging bad behavior, and we'll keep, telling them that so this was the accident that happened. It was a lot, I was put in hospital for 2 days. But so I left the place. I looked around after 7 o'clock when they gave me my car document back, 7 p.m.
After you'd been there since
10. Wow. So just the delay, the lack of respect, the lack of one's time, one's, safety. Like I kept telling them, like, the sun is going down. I really would like to be leaving. And it was just pay this, money and back and forth on it. When I finally finished and I got my documentation without paying for free, I was like, this is how it should be, guys, really having to re-educate them. I got in my car and I started driving. It was dark. There was a packed truck. And usually when there's a packed truck, you get to have like hazard light.
Yes.
And even
so it happens out of Africa, because it's something we see here very common.
In a lot of places in Ghana, like a lot of people, mention that this being a problem, and loss of life has been an issue because people just collide into it. They have no warning, and you just don't. It happens so quickly. 1 minute I was driving, the next I had airbags in my face. It was that fast. It was. I didn't know your Apple phones were programmed when you have collision. So it literally said, So it literally went. It seems like you've been in an accident. Literally. So that just then allowed it to click. Because at that moment I was like, what just happened? Because and that's when that messaging clicked in my brain. That I'm actually in a car accident. So I tried opening just to rescue myself out. The driver's seat was jammed shut. Because that's where the collision happened, was on my side of the car. So I am really blessed that nothing happened to me. Like if I was going any faster, if I had, if the truck was carrying something sharp, like it really could have been a disaster. So because my on kept on going, so the community woke up. They were like, what? So I just saw flashlight coming towards me. They spoke French, which was I did not speak. So I knew straight away. I think I had internet was something I always make sure I had. So I'd gotten a local SIM card. So I called my mom. She was the first person I called. I was like, stay calm. I've just been in a car accident. She's like, I'm calm. But I knew she was internally panicking like any mother. Then I called a local person, which I always encourage. Have a local person's contact. It doesn't matter if you don't even get to connect, but at least you can connect to someone locally. So I called her. She was in the capital city. I was still far away, but at least she was able to, speak the language, mobilize people, coordinate. And that's how, and even the locals, they knew what to do. Thank God it happened in that community, that they had an ambulance, they had the fire engine, like any other place, any other situation, it would have been so worse. And it's a ripple effect from the border. I shouldn't have been at that road. Yes, the man in the truck had the issue with the hazard lights and everything, but I shouldn't have been there in the first place earlier. And there's just so much could have, should have, you know.
That makes me ask, because there are some comments on your social media that you really started encountering problems when you entered West Africa. So when we talk about the African Free Trade Area Agreement, connecting the continent, continental trade, we talk about the what is it, ECOWAS, we talk about all these regional bodies and how we're supposed to be connected. It's not that easy for an African to move from one country to another. It's difficult. It's not there are some flights that will still take you somewhere else before they take you to a neighboring country. What did you learn in this respect that you would think it's something that needs to be addressed by regional governments, national governments, and even by Africans if we're really talking about connecting some 2 billion plus people?
A lot of work needs to be done. You know, from the ECOWAS point of view of freedom of movement, it's not there yet, you know. A lot of work needs to be done. I traveled to Europe and, you know, it was easy peasy, I'm not going to lie. There was just a lot of kind of like free movement between those two places, and they didn't have physical borders, which is something I feel we couldn't do Africa as well, just to have that freedom of movement, you know, freedom of trade, tourism, making sure that people feel safe, you know. And I was very transparent about my travel. I showed the high and the low because it wasn't just going to be, oh, it was all great, because it wasn't. There was some really difficult moments. But then even at border controls, there needs to be more policy change in terms of who are these, you know, officials checking into. You know, I got to Ghana, I remember a very, very clear example. I wanted to leave from Ghana into Togo. The closing time is 6 o'clock. I got there 5:15. The man has gone home. The person that's meant to stamp the document. So I'm like, so what do you want me to do? Or someone just sleep at the border? Like, that's okay? Like, who are these people? You know, exactly. Who are they accountable to? You know, who are checking? I've got to borders where the officials are drinking, like drunk. Like, I'm like, what is going on? You know, I'm not asking what is happening.
I'm not asking you to name the countries, but are they francophone countries?
You want to know your people.
Your people.
In the black nylon bag, I was shot next to them. I'm like, what is it? This is, you know, 12 o'clock. What's happening?
But you know, we can laugh about this, but it's something that we need to really focus on. In Africa especially, to be able to make our lives a little easier. And it's really hard because we already see a prototype across the world. So it's not like we're going to say, oh, it's a eureka moment. So they really need to buy into that. But before I even ask, you know, when you do this kind of journeys, it puts a lot of spotlight on you as a person. And I particularly don't think you're that loud. Maybe you're loud.
She's doing her rich auntie.
Exactly. And you know, the melanin is so deep. The pure Nubian princess kind of thing. I know this fame and all these things come with these things. Would you say you've garnered fame and fortune? So that...
I think there's definitely lots of there's a lot of spotlight. I'm a very introverted person. People don't realize that. Like, I'm very shy. So when I speak to someone, it's just like, and then there's a camera. I'm like, oh Lord. But then I've been in front of camera because I've been creating content for such a long time, whereby it's not so bad. I'm able to conduct myself and know what I'm trying to do. But definitely being discerned, you know, having discerning spirit and knowing what people's agenda are, and you know. But honestly, I think most people are just trying to be kind, and they're very inspired by my journey. And I try to focus on more of the positive thing. But it's a very new era for me, and I'm just slowly navigating this new space.
This new space, like you say, a lot of women, I mean, when it comes to traveling solo, people don't believe that it's something women should do. And so, but recently there's been an increase in women traveling solo. And so when you look at that, it can be daunting as well as liberating. But there are some unperceived dangers. Look at that accident that you were involved in. And thankfully you were calm. Not everybody can be calm. Not everybody can be calm. People will panic. They'll call their grandmothers, they call their aunties, they call their mother, they call everybody.
Facts.
So I would ask you, what advice would you give to young women who are, because you've inspired this, it's like you've woken up a generation where women feel they can do anything. If they really can do it, God damn it,
they really can.
So, what advice would you give women who are intending to embark on solo trips like this, and what security measures would you say they should take while embarking on these kinds of trips?
The first is your mindset. You know, it's so important to not allow other people's opinion of what your life should look like to be that thing that defines your life, you know. I have a goal that at the end of my life, when I'm old and gray, I want to have as little should have, could have, would have as possible.
Love it.
You know, I talk to a lot of older people, and literally most of them is more of the things they didn't do that they regret than the things that they did do, even if it went badly wrong, you know. So I really, truly want to just continue to press that. People have opinions and naysayers and stuff, but you know what you carry. You know, I have been doing this for years. I know my expertise. I know the God I serve. I know, you know, the family and the upbringing I have. I know my capacity. So it's just like when people are like, oh, you're alone. I'm like, yeah, but I've done this and I've done that and I feel in this. So there's just, and even if it goes wrong, it's a learning experience. I'm not going to die, you know, like it just teaches you more about yourself. And that's exciting. That's what life is about. So really just as a young woman, the magic is in the doing. There is a joy in really like planning and, you know, strategizing, but I only started to see the results when I packed my bag and I put that key into my engine and I did it. And I made that first mile and 2 miles and 10 miles and 10,000 miles.
What were you doing? Was your motor? Is it brand new? I don't understand motor that can drive.
It's called Olori. We need to go on a quick break right now. When we come back, Pelumi will still touch on those safety measures for women who want to travel alone. And of course, we'll get into her becoming a tourism ambassador for Lagos State. Stay with us. You're still watching Jasiri, and our very, very special guest on this Thursday is Pelumi Nubi, who has broken the record of doing London to Lagos in 68 days. Now, right before the break, we asked her, Catherine was asking her about her advice to aspiring female travelers in particular. And that point you made about when you die or when you're old, you want to reduce as many shouldas, couldas, and wouldas as possible, very down to the barest minimum.
Exactly.
But we also want some safety measures or some safety hacks for women who travel alone, because we've seen the global uptake. Women are taking trips that they've always wanted to take, whether it's with their girlfriends or by themselves, and it's a trend I'm here for.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
What were the safety measures you put in place?
So the level of research that I went into the planning of the trip itself, just learning about the cultural norm in certain places. You know, there's some places that are like, you know, very Muslim based, and, you know, modest dressing and things like that is very important. So learning the cultural norm about the place I'm visiting was very important, and not ditching the normal safety things I would do when I'm back in the UK or anywhere else when I'm traveling. You know, try not to stay out late, make sure someone knows my location. Every night I just send my geolocation to my family, but I also had like an air tag on me in person, so they could always see my exact point of location. You know, keep in touch or keep in touch with people back home, just making sure they know my situation, where my mindset is and my headspace is at. You know, I did not carry any weapon per se. I'm not a big believer. And that's another thing, not leaning too much into fear. You know, I didn't want this trip to be led by fear. I think sometimes we are very scared, you know, and that's the thing. And, you know, I always believe in energy, and what you put out is what you get back into as well. So just more of the positive, like, I'm okay, I'm blessed, I'm wanted, I'm accepted. This kind of really positive affirmation I put upon myself too as well, and prayer. Just kind of like when I'm driving, the window is usually up the doors are usually locked, especially during traffic, so nobody can just open and, you know, grab anything from the car. Blackout curtains were at the back just to tint out because he had all my stuff in it. So just, people just looking at, oh, I can see a backpack in there. So just having that. I'm trying to think of that.
Did you sleep in hotels or in the car?
I slept mostly in the car.
Okay.
For example, when I was in my period, I did sleep on hotels just to have that extra comfort, so that I can do two showers every day and all of that. But like most of it, or in a host home, or people that just open up their home to me. But most of my stay was inside my car.
And then you were moving non-stop with internet non-stop.
Yes, so that was the first thing. Once I got my passport stamp, the next question is, where can I get a SIM card? You know, people love eSIMs and stuff like that, which I, you know, always say that's a good option, alternative. But I feel that's always a good way to get myself immersed in these places, because I have to engage with a local vendor. I keep a little souvenir with me at the end, so I have like about 17 different SIM cards right now.
So beyond the thrill of travel, because we all know that traveling is one of the ways that you expand your mind, you learn, you grow.
Yes.
And it teaches us lessons. I would like to know, what is one of the most pivotal lessons that travel has taught you? Where did you learn it? What was the experience?
I remember in Morocco, I took the ferry from Spain to Morocco, and before then I had so much apprehension, like, girl, like, I can't explain it to you. I was Googling and researching, and people say, oh, you need your passport, which is fine. You need your proof of car, that you own the car. Then someone say, oh, you need insurance, but it has to be printed on specifically green paper. And someone say, oh, no, you have to show the receipts of you buying the car. So I bought this car 5 years ago. Where will I see a receipt of the car? Like, there was just so many misinformation. I remember going to ticket office and saying, please, like, what do I need? And they're like, when you get to Morocco, I was like, when I get there, tell me what I need. Like, does it mean that then come back to Spain? Like, there was just so many misinformation, which is why I wanted so deliberate about sharing every single detail of what I did and what just to make the next person's life a little easier, because I don't. So I went through the whole Morocco process. They checked my passport, searched my car, and they let me go. It was 5 minutes.
So I think that's also part of this conversation.
Yes.
Finding information can be difficult.
Extremely difficult.
So even some countries, their website, their travel tourism
is either outdated or not enough information.
Exactly.
So yeah, I remember when I crossed Morocco, I literally broke down in tears, because I was like, I was overthinking these things so much. What else in my life am I overthinking? And it's so easy in the first place. Like, it was such a life transforming moment for me. That's, you know,
overthinking.
Very poignant. Like, we shouldn't breeze over that, because so many people stop themselves from doing what they can do just because they overthink themselves out.
And then when you get there and you do it, you're like, oh,
is
this the thing I was worried about?
And many people never get there. And they miss out on so much.
So we also want to say congratulations, a round of applause.
Thank you.
Now Lagos Tourism Ambassador. It was Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu himself that gave you that award, and some other things as well. But in terms of promoting tourism and showcasing the beauty of Lagos, we can complain about traffic, we can complain about whatever it is, but people will come to Lagos, come to Nigeria and tell you, wow, like they've enjoyed themselves.
Oh yeah.
So what do you plan to do, especially with this? It's an honor, but it's also now a responsibility.
Yes.
With a joyful responsibility, because I feel I do this so openly and freely in all these other places I've been to. It has also been my mission to make travel easy, safe, and doable, especially as a solo female traveler. But to be able to have the honor and privilege to be able to do it in my own state, in my own country, can even be more honorable than that. Like, I'm so joyful. And, you know, from someone that is a local, like a native born, you know, but I've spent most of our life in the UK, each time I came to Lagos, I always had a good time, from 13 December to just so really showcasing that, honestly, like, we are out, and you know, the fun of Lagos, the Lagosian vibe, the joy of it, I do want to capitulate it. I want to work with other content creators and other people that put Lagos out there, you know, very, very organically. I want to showcase that, you know, Lagos is a beautiful place. We have so much to offer, you know, diminish the safety thing, which is also prime concern for people, and just trying to see what the effort the government is making in order to combat this, but really showcasing it on my platform and, you know, pushing it out there as much as I can.
So you, at the grand reception for you at UNILAG, you met the first man to make this trip, Walter Jibonu. He's now 90. He did it, I think, twice, he said?
4 times.
Four times.
Yes.
He did it 4 times.
Yes.
When you guys talked and you compared notes, how did that go?
Funny enough, I was talking to him before I met him in UNILAG. So, right from, I'm trying to remember exactly where I had this conversation. I think by Morocco, when I was in Morocco, I started talking to him, and he was so encouraging. He himself was so inspired. It's like, he wish he could do it one more time. But he's passed on the baton or the touch towards me. Yes. But it was such a good conversation. And again, men have done this in the past, but it was just so empowering to see a woman do it, women do it by herself. And he himself admitted that, look, when I was doing this thing, I was using a 4x4, I was using the biggest car. You have got to do with so little. The thing you had, which is the messages I wanted to put out there, that what you have is very important and very crucial to make use of the thing you have. It doesn't have to be the most perfect thing, but it's been such an inspiration, and I hope I will be one day be able to be that for someone else.
Yes, I want to cry.
It's so inspirational.
Because women are actually literally tearing the roof off.
They are.
There's so many. I have seen travel videos of people that have made. They have sponsorship. Companies sponsor the entire trip, and it's like luxury travel. But to see a woman do it with, very bare minimum, it's just inspiring me that there's nothing we set our heart to do. Just start with what you have, and every other thing is going to. But I know that travel is like drug.
For you.
Yes.
For you.
People that love adventure.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
You have the bug.
That you have itchy feet. You can actually not just. So, what are we going to do? Where are we going again? Because
Drum roll, please.
Because I know.
To be honest, I'm also like that. I'm very much, we've got that. I've never finished unpacking. Like, even on the flight, I'm already booking my next flight to return out, But for once, I really do want to, a lot has happened. Someone asked me, like, when did you get to the country? And I was genuinely about to say 1 week. That back then was just a day. Like, it felt like a lot has happened in that duration. So I've been I've been on the road for quite a long time. I want to take it home. I want to continue enjoying my mom's cooking. Re-strategize because, like you said, new responsibilities have been placed on me, and just seeing how best I can, take care of my body, my mind, and, move from there. But and I know we're very quick sometimes as human to really rush past our achievement, really rush over something that you've been wanting to attain for such a long time, and finally you can finally do it. And when we do it, we just glaze over it. So I just want to marinate in it for a minute and just take it all in. But there's going to be a new adventure.
There must be somewhere you've always wanted to visit, like somewhere. It could be a village.
Place. Could be Antarctica.
I do that. Almost said Atlantis.
She said it.
It is. So I've
Atlantis.
visited all six continents. So Antarctica will be my 7th. And I do want to do it before I turn 30. So sometime in December by God's grace.
So we are going to be
So you need to let us know, because we want to find our way. Jasiri goes to Antarctica through you.
We'll be like the Tintin series. Jasiri goes to Antarctica. Jasiri goes to Morocco.
All we need is dogs.
Honestly, it's such a wholesome time talking to you.
Pleasure.
You're inspiration. You're inspiring me. Like, where's your British accent?
Where is it?
Yeah.
Is it missing?
I was thinking that you would be like, in it. Oh no.
In it? No, let's not be in it. No,
not in it.
Come on, guys.
When she was speaking, how she was in Spain and traversed.
Traveler.
GPT English. Chat GPT.
Crossing to Morocco. I was thinking.
We want to delve into this conversation.
Yes, let's do that. Which country did she leave the UK for? Which was the first country? This is a question I can ask in Jambo. Which is the first country?
Which one was France?
France.
After UK was France. So he closed the English channel into France. I saw the monument, like in the Eiffel Tower. It was important. I wanted to capture Lumi's name of my car in front of, like, monument. Then I went into Spain, and then I crossed into.
You people are hearing now. Tomorrow, people are hearing
Drop on my page. Go on my Instagram, Pelumi.Nubi. You see the whole.
Everything is there. Honestly, we are so inspired by you. I want to say a very big thank you to you, Pelumi, travel and content creator, who is now the new Lagos State Tourism Ambassador, for being an embodiment of inspiration.
Yes.
And we're wishing you the very best.
Thank you.
For your future endeavors and everything, that everybody be taking a fighting pose like, Jasiri has assembled. Our lawyer, I'm gonna take a trip. We are going to be tripping into Hot Topics corner. But thank you so much. We will take a break, but we'll be right back. Get ready. Yes. Let's go. Let's enter.
Well done. That's the spirit. I love this. You are doing well, Pelumi. That's the end.
Our hot topic today, unfortunately, is a sad one. Now, yesterday, the Nigerian internet went crazy when news that popular actor Junior Pope had reportedly died in a boating accident while he and other crew members were heading to a film location in Asaba. Apparently, moments before that, we're not sure just how long, he posted a video of himself on the boat, visibly shaking and on the phone with someone, telling the boat driver to take it easy, saying that he has 3 children, he can't swim, he's the only child as well. Here's the video.
To entertain, I got 3 children, I'm going to raise them. I beg, take a sports ball. Don't like, this is a risk. Sweat Nation, see the risk we take. It's okay like this, I beg. Don't speak. See the risk we take, people, to entertain you. Live on the ranks on River Niger. Whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa. This one kind of hits under. You don't go boss, Abi.
When the news broke of his passing, it was really like a joke, and there was even speculation that it was a PR stunt for the movie, until several actors started posting "Rest in Peace." A few hours later, a series of videos started showing up saying his body had in fact been recovered and he was still alive. This is after he was reportedly taken to the mortuary and allegedly rejected because the mortician said he was still alive. Here's another clip where you can see them trying to revive him.
Default culture. Default culture.
So there's a lot. Before reportedly taking him, or after reportedly taking him to several hospitals, he was finally pronounced dead. And you can only imagine how people are feeling right now. Ladies, I know this is a very difficult thing. It's not hot as our normal hot topic would be, but it's a conversation we must take. We first have to send our condolences and our prayers to his family, his wife. He has 3 beautiful boys. He has a wife, he has family, he has friends. Our condolences and our prayers first go to them before we really get into this conversation. Yeah.
The driver, I say the driver, what do you call them?
Well,
That's
both
the way they drive
conductors.
the boat, sha. Where was he speeding to? Because for him to say that, that means we are not on land where you are driving your car and this is water.
He was chopping those waves.
And
it was just tearing.
I wasn't sure if he was wearing a life jacket in that boat.
Not wearing a life.
I couldn't see a life jacket.
You know how they say, because in film,
I don't know.
Lolo, you know that in film we kind of overlook some things that we shouldn't take for granted.
Yeah.
And you would see you're crossing, you're going to Asaba. Yes, you are. You're going to film, and you hear us because we have this laissez-faire attitude of, past 15 minutes now, guys, don't date there. Small time will go soon reach. And you think nothing can happen in that year, in 15, 20, 10, 30 minutes, you think nothing can happen. And the guy is feeling like, oh, I don't navigate this now. This is not a new thing. I've been plying this route. I've been taking actors across. But you don't know that every trip.
But do you know that
Literally.
It is in Lagos State, I can assure you, because I've been on many boat cruises here, they will not let you step on a jetty
without a life
jacket. There's a reason why. Because if you fall into the water,
it keeps you
at least it keeps you afloat for a while
someone can get
till someone can get to you. So no matter how and I found out that it's not just in this, just that French thing she said, laissez-faire.
Laissez-faire.
We take it. We just think, it's just
We're
like I
very
see
flippant about
Nepal
things.
people climb the pole without rubber gloves, without hair, because you
And
just
the next thing,
assume,
this person is
you know,
electrocuted
safety
to-
gear.
yeah.
Honestly, I wish he had worn a safety
What are we
jacket.
talking about?
it's probably
Just
not even
yesterday.
him.
No, I'm not interrupting you. Just yesterday, I went to radio. So there was this truck carrying probably cement, and there were, you know how guys hang on top of all these things? You know, the cement was so high, and the guys were on top of the cement, making them close to the wires. Voila. And when they were driving through, do you know?
They'd be touching the wires.
Yeah, they were holding the wires up. And I remember I was out there, look, Nedu was with me.
Okay,
And I
that
said to
wooden stuff. I've seen
and I
them do
said to
that.
Nedu, I'm like, do these guys really think this is normal? Like, this is normal. They held it, and the truck they held it with their hands. Like, saying,
And that's
nothing was
wild. Annie, you wanted to say something?
No, I was just, in fact, I know I get really overwhelmed because this is a life that we're talking about here. And when we take so much for granted,
Yes.
we're so flippant about caring. You're going to work. There must be certain safety measures that must be enforced. And if they are not enforced, that project should not be greenlit. It
Which is
shouldn't.
why-
But do we even know what these safety measures are?
So which is why I do applaud the Actors Guild of Nigeria. So let's give you an update on that, because they were the ones to finally confirm his death. There was just so many people then when we found out he was on call. It was just a lot yesterday, quite overwhelming. So the Actors Guild of Nigeria released a statement, and they said, of course, let's also remember he's not the only one. There were four other crew members. Right now, their bodies have not been recovered, but the Actors Guild said they're working to make sure they find their bodies. The life vest conversation has come up, but more than that, Emeka Rolas, who is the national president of the AGN, has released a statement which cited a number of things. Let's quickly hear this. So now, no films that involve riverine areas and boat riding, those have been suspended for now. Cancellation and prohibition of all shoots on all locations nationwide for today. It's a sign of honor and respect to him. The movie he was filming, which is Another Side of Life, here the title,
so ironic.
Another Side of Life, has now been suspended indefinitely. Then no actor should work with the producer Adama Luke until further notice. And then, of course, as we said, they'll continue to look for the bodies of the others who are involved. So we're going to continue to hear updates on this situation for the coming days, I think into the weekend as well. It's just difficult. But again, remember his wife, his three boys, a beautiful family, a family that has lost a friend, a son.
And this thing that you
his only child.
I had those people. It was like a
Because he was talking about it as he was
talking about. You could feel his fear.
And can we just ask, I mean, you don't have to do it, but can we ask that we respect the families of people who have left, not circulating pictures and videos. It's difficult for them because they're going to see these things, and we need to have a bit more empathy and emotional intelligence.
The video
Please,
of
it's not entertainment. This is a life. This is a life.
It is. Wow.
All right. Unfortunately, we have to wrap on a very sad note today. But also a big thank you for the incredible Pelumi Nubi coming to share her journey and experience with us. She came to sprinkle her black girl magic, her African girl magic. And we're all here for it. And we continue to remember the family of Junior Pope and his loved ones as well. Tomorrow, we'll be having one of the hottest, all the stories coming together. One of your faves is going to be here. I can give you a small hit. He's always talking about being a finished man. So a finished man is going to join us for Hot Topic Special tomorrow. You guys don't want to miss it. And tomorrow is Annie's last day.
Guys, for now.
I'm gonna
For now.
No one really knows what can
For
happen.
now, we're leaving. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.